What's it feel like being married and just everything you've done this offseason?
Well, that's a great question. Obviously, it's been a really enjoyable offseason. Not many college football players get to be married, so I'm excited about that. It's been great. It's been very special, especially going back and seeing our families, having a great wedding, beautiful ceremony, all that good stuff. It's been really good coming home this summer, having somebody to be with. And obviously it was a long 6 months, but from January to June, but it prepared me and gave me a lot of good time with my teammates, a lot of individual time with them. But it's been a good long off season. I feel like it's been one of the longest of my careers. I'm just really excited to get back on the field again.
How do you balance a quarterback competition where obviously you want to win the job, but also you want to push some of the younger guys in the room as well? How do you kind of balance that?
That's a really good question as well. I think just the main thing, controlling what I can control when I'm out there on the field, doing the best I can to execute the offensive play, go out there, have fun, have some passion, be a good leader, compete, do all those good things, and then at the same time just go out there and be myself, be who I can be comfortable back there in the pocket and just make the throws that I can make. But as far as the younger guys, it's been really fun because we have so many younger guys that have great talent, unbelievable talent, got a few reps last year, but now it's kind of their time to fill those gaps and to go take control of this offense. And that's the most exciting part, is to see those new guys, those new faces coming together and having a huge role in the offense.
Well, there's been a couple of people here today that have talked about your leadership abilities. Do you consider that to be one of your greatest strengths?
I do, especially now being here, I feel like the oldest guy. Even though I'm not necessarily by age, people kind of look at me because I'm already married. I've been through a lot. They kind of assume that I'm just a lot older, so which is a good thing because, like I said previously, we have a lot of younger guys that haven't had that same experience. But at the end of the day, when you go out there and you do have leadership like we have, especially up front on the offensive line, when you got Alex and Ryan and those guys that do their part and they carry their role. Carry that part of the line, and then it makes it kind of easy for a guy like me with similar experience to go out there and kind of lead the other guys, lead the skill group, and it's just really fun. I take passion, take pride in it. It's fun to lead those guys and see those guys through to their potential, and just when their eyes light up and they figure something out for the first time, it's like a really good feeling.
You talk about your experience, and you've been a part of those neutral site games before. Heck, you played Oregon in one in your freshman year. What have you told some of the guys about what they're about to experience going to Atlanta in a month?
Well, we've discussed it briefly. We know the competition at hand. Haven't discussed really the atmosphere, even though I know it'll probably be like 85-15 Georgia, probably just because it's in there at Atlanta and in their state. But that's kind of an advantage for us, We can treat it like it's an away game. We can treat it like it's not going to be home field advantage because it's not going to be here in Athens. So we're going to be prepared. We're going to be excited, ready to roll. Obviously, the most important thing, the biggest thing we can do is just go out there and compete and have fun. And obviously, we'll see what happens there. But with the skill we have, the skill set that we present, if we just go out there and compete, we're just going to be really good.
What was it about Oregon that made you want to come here, and what excites you about the upcoming season?
When I was evaluating my options, Oregon was really the number one the whole entire time, because when you look at Oregon, you ask yourself, like, why not Oregon? The brand of Oregon, the O itself, signifies so much in college football. Year in and year out, they have a chance to be in the top 4 of the country, and that's what I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to be able to have the chance to play in the playoff, and I know that with my skill set, I know I could contribute. And so with the guys that we have here, obviously we're loaded, so I'm excited to be a part of that. With our new coaching staff, they do a great job. They've been around the block a lot, so a lot of good key experience there, offensive side and defensive side. Great coaching staff, part with great skilled players, great fronts on offense and defense, and so we got all the tools. And then when you look at Oregon from a national point of view, every kid in the South, where I'm from, you got kids wearing Oregon all the time, and so Oregon's a national brand, and it's just something I wanted to be a part of.
If you're running the ball, Anthony Brown, the option's a big part of the offense. how much do you see the quarterback running the ball, not scrambling, but just actually running an option is going to be for the team?
Well, that's all dependent on each week on the defense that we play. Whatever they're presenting, maybe we can find something that'll exploit that. And then obviously Coach Dillingham is the main leader with that. He's going to know the right time to run the quarterback, and we just trust him, put the game in his hands, and then allow him to put us in great situations. And then when our number's called, just go execute. But obviously the quarterbacks that we have, we're extremely athletic. We can do that part of the game, and so I think that makes our offense so dynamic because we have quarterbacks like that. And then at the same time, we got skill players that can, when you get them the ball very quickly, good things happen.
Dan talked about today just the importance of the offense, being able to push the ball through the air deep down the field, and then said maybe more importantly having the confidence to do that.
Yeah.
I guess as a quarterback, how much do you like hearing coach want you to push the ball, and then how do you develop that confidence with you and your receivers to be able to pull that off?
Yeah, well, I love it, but the confidence part comes in the off season, the spring ball, summer, what we've been doing, all that connection, all that chemistry, throwing together. I feel like we have, from top to bottom receiving core, we got a lot of depth there, a lot of guys that can start anywhere in the country. And so in saying that, we have the connection now. We just got to go out there and kind of execute the play, whatever the defense gives us. We just execute it and do that. But at the same time, with my experience, pushing the ball down the field is extremely valuable, extremely important. The teams that can do that successfully over and over consistently, they're usually the teams that are very explosive offensively. When you're explosive offensively, your defense is allowed to kind of settle in. With our defense, when you got to play from behind, it's tough. And so just from our scheme, and then once you add our players to it, it's just really, really tough to move the ball. I know that from experience playing Georgia, same defense, similar style the past few years. But just as a team, when you can move the ball, when you can get 5 guys in a route, when you can do some quick game, get the ball out, and then that'll open up the vertical shots down the field, that's extremely important. And then people kind of forget that is probably the number one way to run the ball is when you can get the ball out quick, kind of loosen the defense up a little bit, make them back up, make them change coverage, get out of some man pressures and man defenses that stack the box. Then you can start running the ball and you get good running lanes.
You brought up the youth at receiver, but there's also Coda and Chapman, 2 older guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just your thoughts on how much they can impact that room and make plays for you?
Yeah, obviously, most important thing that they possess is their experience. They played in a lot of different games, and obviously Chase was here during the spring, and so we got to see what he can do, his potential, and he's done a really good job this summer, this offseason, kind of leading those younger receivers. And Chase is different. He doesn't necessarily have to be this big vocal guy. He just does it by action, and whatever he does, people tend to follow. He's a really good guy for that room, but at the same time, you got to give credit to the younger guys who have kind of stepped up and said, you know what, it's our time. So they've started to kind of step up and be able to it's been easy to lead them because they're such great followers right now, and they're willing and eager to get out there and prove themselves now with their opportunity.
What's going to separate the battle here? What's going to separate whoever emerges from this group?
That's a great question. I think separator is just who's the best, who's going to go out there and put the team in the best situation, go out there and be the best player on the field and do what they can do and lead our team to a lot of wins.
How important is your relationship with Coach Dillingham in terms of your transition out here and in terms of maybe you helping others with the offense?
I think that's a really unique aspect of me coming to Oregon is that I've already played with Coach Dillingham, and he obviously was there from the very beginning when I got to college, so he saw me at the very beginning, how I was right when I got there, and then how I steadily grew that first year. And then I think it's important for him to see now the growth and development that I've had with the 2 years of separation that we had from each other. But I'm excited to, especially this fall, I think this spring was so much getting our feet wet, new offense, new system, new guys throwing it to a bunch of different competitions, and now really feel comfortable to go out there, and now you don't have to think as much and can just play. And so I believe he'll see that, and he'll see how much growth that I've had from just my freshman year to now. And then obviously it's really important to play for a guy who wants you, who's had a connection with you. One of the really important reasons why I'm here.
Well,
you can work in with QB Country this summer.
Absolutely, yeah, I work with them a lot.
When and where was that this summer?
Oh, I forget the date, but when I go back, I try to work with them as best as possible because they're in Alabama. They're very available, and they do a great job of when I'm out there, they make it convenient for me so I can go out there and get some great work in with some great mentors and guys that know what they're talking about.
Who's your specific trainer with them?
Usually, as much as possible, I go down with David Morris down in Mobile, who's trained a bunch of great quarterbacks. And then there in Birmingham area is Ben Neal. He's part of the same tree. He does a great job himself. Most importantly, they're very good human beings. They want what's best for all their quarterbacks, no matter who they are, no matter what talent they possess, and they just want to grow you as a person.
What's life been like, Bo? Let's say like the last month or so after getting married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But when you first got out here, it was going as far away as you've been from home. And Izzy was still in Auburn, and obviously family's still down there. But now she's out here with you. So now, just what is life like now compared to January?
You know, honestly, it's a lot simpler. I think just being married, having that part out of the way, it's no longer like long distance, all that stuff kind of sort of can be a distraction and all that stuff. But it's easier now because, you know, she's just at home. She lives her life. I go live mine. And then when we get home, we just share our days and just talk with each other. But it's been good. She's great in this situation. She's really she lets me have all the time I need with football, and that's a blessing. That's how I knew she was the one.
What's impressed you about this offensive line group, and maybe what's something unique or different than what you experienced at Auburn?
I think the most important thing, obviously, is their experience. They've played in a lot of different games themselves. They've been with a lot of different styles of offense. You know, you had a lot of passing situations, run the ball really well in the past, and now they're just great communicators up front, really good with each other. They know how to discuss and pass things off, and that stuff's really valuable when you get an offensive line group that has played together a lot and they know each other. They know how to call different things, know how to execute different things, and they're just really smart. And you can't trade knowledge at that position.
Because this is an open battle of quarterback, there's obviously a scenario where you could potentially not win the job. Have you thought about that and what that would be like and what that would mean?
No, I have not.
And why?
Why would you think about failure?
You won a quarterback battle as a freshman. You probably have a lot more perspective on that now. What do you think you did back then to help win that job that maybe you didn't even realize that helped put you in the right position?
That's a really good question. Each year you go through a quarterback battle because each year there's one quarterback, there's one position, there's one guy that can go out there and start the first game, and there's a bunch of quarterbacks in the room. So even last year with TJ Finley coming in, there was a bunch of buzz and words about that, and obviously that played out how it did. But each competition you find in yourself something different. You know, my freshman year, it was like, okay, you're not just a freshman anymore. You got to be older than what you are, and so you have to be a different kind of leader. You obviously don't have the vocal type spotlight that you would have if you were an older guy from a leader standpoint, but you can lead by action, and that's what I tried to do my freshman year because we had a loaded experience up front, so I didn't necessarily have to say a lot. And so probably just from behind the scenes, leadership by action was probably the most important thing that I did, just because I tried to show the team that, you know, whatever I needed to do, however hard I needed to work, I was willing to do it. And then just from your question, my freshman year is just the want to, I think. I wanted that really bad. Obviously, it was something that I've always wanted to do, and so I put my life to it. And that's just what I've been doing for the past couple of years, just, everything, all this, these competitions. I mean, you really do have to put your life to it, and everything's got to be about it.
What about last year?
Last question.
Last year was obviously different because came in during the summer, and I felt like the 2 years before I kind of grown and developed with the teammates, and so I felt like I had a good opportunity to kind of continue to excel that. And then obviously when practice came, it just worried about me, focused on myself, what I can do, because I feel like I'm my greatest competition. If I can just get better each and every day, then I feel very good about my position.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Thank you.